Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends. NBA playoffs continue. Brooms seem to be on sale in the West, while the Monstars are playing in the East. Teams potentially looking to pick a rose from the garden. Heat finally free Bosh. WWE pay per view weekend and more starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Debates Among Friends live on YouTube and also Twitch. This is the 55th edition of this podcast on May 21st, 4th, 2017. I am your host, the Professor John Gotti, and always by my side, he needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. It's Doc Ocean. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We have ourselves quite the conundrum in the conference finals. We had some controversial wins in WWE. I know that you're definitely looking forward to it, and I believe that this show is just going to be styling and profiling like old Slick Rick himself.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not Slick Rick, sir, but I know we got a few things to talk about, so let's jump right into it.
Let's do it, buddy.
The West. Excuse me, I got a little bit of that dust in my throat from the continuous sweeping of West teams done by the Warriors. The brooms seem to be for sale, sir. They're on sale. The Warriors are just... Granted, the Spurs played a great game one game.
Oh. And unfortunately, that was the first game.
Right. Kawhi was playing. A lot of people are putting an asterisk next to this series because Kawhi was there. A lot of people say, "Oh, what would happen if Kawhi was there?" But I didn't really
feel
see
like that's,
anything.
That's just disrespectful, though.
Yeah, because I really didn't feel like I seen anything from the Spurs that would have resulted in Kawhi being their quote unquote savior.
No, and for me, I kind of get tired of hearing that kind of notion. Oh, if this person was here, we would have won it. Like, it's a team sport. Everyone has to be there to win it. Like, if one person can win it all, in fact, I don't think they really had any teams that only just had one superstar in the past, what, decade, 2 decades?
Yeah, and a lot of people would argue, of course, you know what? I don't want to get down that argument, but when you think about it, it's like, no one has done it by themselves.
Nope.
I think the closest person that we ever had, and even he had some help, I would say personally, is Allen Iverson.
Yes.
Second would be, and I know he's not our favorite player, but Dwight Howard with the Orlando Magic.
This is true. We can even throw in LeBron James because he took a bunch of bums to the finals, but unfortunately they got swept.
Now,
but he didn't get injured, but, just saying.
I'm still torn, and a lot of people keep talking about that team, and I know that Antoine Jameson wasn't who he was before, and he was playing with Boobie Gibson.
But you like Boobie Gibson.
I did like Boobie Gibson. He was great for that one series, and then they buried him for Delonte West the next year.
Oh my gosh!
And then he started dating Keisha Cole, and then that was the rest of his life.
Yeah,
that was the rest of his life right there. But yeah, I guess you could throw that team in there. Obviously, Allen Iverson playing with Alan McKee or whatever, like some of them younger guys,
like Eric Snow and stuff.
Eric
like that?
Snow, yeah, come on.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like Eric Snow. I thought he was a pretty solid starting point guard. A great compliment to Allen Iverson, but I definitely agree.
Sure. But yeah, I think that there was no chance for the Spurs to beat the Warriors. Even if they did win one game, it would have just ended in 5, or I don't think it would have got to 6.
No, it wouldn't have went that far at all. I like the Spurs. I know, Q, who's been on the show a couple of times. He was on last week, giving us a lot of stats.
Hmm.
I mean, he's a diehard Spurs fan, but we all knew, like, the Warriors are a totally different beast.
But he was realistic though too.
Oh,
I didn't.
absolutely.
I didn't feel like he was going to, go ride or die on him. He was realistic, and I appreciated that. But
You mean like another analyst on this podcast who try to hashtag trending the Rockets would have won that game.
I
Rockets
think
would have
the
won that series against for this very same series that we're talking about.
no, because I don't think I'm being unrealistic. I think the Rockets would have pushed it to 6 or 7 games.
I can agree with 5,
Six, at least six, because
and here's why: they'll make it much more competitive
and we
because
would
of
still
the
won.
concept of so many shooters that Houston has.
We
The
would have still won.
issue is, and Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and that pissant Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, who also is in that pissant territory as well too.
Hilarious.
Um, all talked about the breakdown of James Harden, and he
Okay.
has a history of doing that.
The history of breaking down. I mean,
But then again, I
again,
mean, what superstar doesn't have a series or a game where he mentally breaks down and basically costs his team either a series or a game.
but that's the thing. I don't think it was a mental breakdown. I literally think it was a physical breakdown because of the coach's decision to play seven. And I'm gonna stick with that argument, and I'm gonna ride it until the next season. If he plays nine, we make that game competitive. You throw in Sam Decker, Montrez Harrell, we don't get blown out. I even saw an article today, and of course we don't want to get on the Rockets because we could do this all show. But
We're
I
not.
saw an
I'll
article.
probably half crispy
Shut me
you as
down.
soon as we start going for it. So
There you go. I even read an article today that said Sam Decker is the key to our next season next year. You know,
absolutely.
so I mean that's pretty much where it's going to be. But you think about it, if three of our eight rotation guys, and of course it should be eight, 9 guys, which I guess you include Nene in there if he comes back. But if you're talking about Lewis Williams, Eric Gordon, Sam Decker, and then a center, whether that be Nene or that Chinese kid that we got last year, I believe, or the year
You got to
before
be
last.
careful with that. You got to be careful with that one. Helen Ray looked at me directly like, no.
I can't say Chinese kid.
She didn't really like that. I'm only telling you what she's like. Give me that look right now. Like it's a cross between ha ha ha. It's kind of cute at the same time. Don't ever say it again.
Wow. Wow. Fine. I don't even know what to say, but anyway, that that kid, I think if he does come over, he gains a little bit of weight, and he can. I think he can stretch the floor for us. So I'm not too worried about that. Um, I will say that I think we'll be good. But looking at the Warriors roster, though, I will say, speaking of people who really stood out to me, I did say that this Patrick McGraw kid.
Patrick McCaw.
Well, it says McGraw here, but I think it is
McCall.
McCall.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh,
wait a minute. Like
McCall.
quick draw because
It's McCall. I thought. See, for some reason, I thought they were saying McCall, but then when I'm looking at
McCall.
it,
McCaw.
McCall. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like. So that's why I was thinking McGraw in my mind. I really believe that he could either replace Sean Livingston and or Andre Iguodala could be gone because they had some pretty young guys out there that could really play basketball.
Which I mean, by itself, highly logical because they moved on from Harrison Barnes and got something better. Maybe Patrick McCaw could be a lot better. I really like Sean Livingston as far as what he was able to bring to the table. A solid backup,
Yeah.
able to get you some good points. A quality point guard who could defend 3 positions,
And he can post. I thought that was pretty good.
which
And
which by itself is a dying breed, by the way.
it is. It is. And you know who else I thought shot the ball very well? Ian Clark. I thought he
Ian
shot the ball
Clark as
very
well too.
well
I
too.
really like Ian Clark. I was been very high on him.
He shot the ball better than Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some dirt sheets around. Hey, the Warriors should trade Klay Thompson.
For what though?
I scoffed at that.
I mean, why though?
Because they just want to start up drama. Because that's what the media does. Or that's what people on, like, rumor messaging boards would start saying.
Mm.
And it catches wind just a little bit, kind of like a flatulence that's silent but deadly. And it just picks up steam.
I think in the finals, he'll have at least one or two big games. He'll come up, and he's been doing other things that help the team. He's been rebounding.
Thing, though, like that's the thing that people don't understand is that he's doing so much more than just scoring.
Yeah, he's definitely been balling out.
Everyone's just looking at, he's not scoring. Seriously?
They don't need no scores though. They really need defense and
they really need
people
defense
to just contribute. Yeah,
that's one of the things that Pop was talking about. Like, no one's giving them credit for what they do on the defensive end.
Definitely,
they are shutting people down. They're making you pay for mistakes that you make. Like,
absolutely,
completely. Like watching that game 4. A lot of mistakes were made from the Spurs. Even like game 3. Like a lot of mistakes, and they just turned into straight points.
Yeah.
And I would say that Golden State's probably the most deadliest team in transition because they can hit you from deep, or they can just bring it straight to the rack.
No, without question.
I mean, it's sort of like the Heatles back in the day,
right?
Except instead of explosive 3-point shooting, you got people who could just run you out the gym and just dunk on you all day.
Definitely. I agree with that. I think that it's one of those situations that's. I feel bad for the Spurs. Don't get me wrong, but
absolutely,
it's one of those situations where I just feel like, hey, their time was up. They're gonna have to do some changes. Of course, we're gonna get back to the Spurs, of course, later on in the show. But obviously, Space Jam was on this week, and in the Eastern Conference, Space Jam was on.
In the Eastern Conference that we thought was going to be over already, but I mean, that was a surprise by itself.
The Monstars are playing the Boston Celtics. Obviously, without big Isaiah Thomas, the
it factor,
the it man himself.
You see what I did there, though?
I do.
Okay.
I did. But they played pretty good the other day.
They're making it a competitive game. Like, it's down the wire, like, heading into the next game. It's not going to be a blowout.
The only really beating the Celtics. And I'm not going to say Kyrie. I think a lot of people expect me to say Kyrie. Tristan Thompson is beating up the Celtics. I mean, he's beating them up.
He is.
I mean, he's rebounding. He's actually hitting his free throws.
Free throws win championships.
And I mean, I of course somebody was trolling last night when they said, when you have a king, yet you have a king saver on your team, and Kyrie Irving.
I mean, here's a funny stat. So, despite how much you're telling me that Tristan Thompson is beasting, Kevin Love is averaging 12, pretty much 13 rebounds a game.
I can agree with that, but Kevin Love,
who's exactly how he should be playing, getting double digits in rebounds and getting double digits in points. He should be a 20 and 10 guy.
But I don't think Kevin Love's rebounds are as critical. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some tip-ins that Kevin Love had that were great. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing Tristan Thompson battle for offensive rebounds. And that's the second chance point, especially in Game 3.
Yes.
Like I mean, they really should have won that game. But I really believe that they threw that one just to extend the series and make it at least go somewhat to June 1st.
Which is
So we,
weird.
because you think about it, it's May 24th. Now we're gonna potentially go into the weekend with no basketball whatsoever.
Yep.
Have a whole week to think about how terrible the Eastern and how bad the Eastern Conference is, but how bad I guess the Western Conference would be as well. But at least the Western Conference was competitive.
I'm just waiting for you to actually elaborate on that one. How was it competitive? Doctor, are you still on? I believe we probably lost the doctor. Doctor, are you there? Is there a doctor in the house? I don't think there's a doctor in the house. But I don't see how the Western Conference was competitive. I can't really believe that. Uh, no, I mean, maybe there was some series. I mean, the Utah series against the Warriors wasn't really all that competitive. I kind of felt bad for the Jazz. Uh, I don't see it. I mean, the Rockets series, yeah, I can make that argument. But, I mean, once again, it was that mental, or as the doc like to say, that physical breakdown of the Rockets because D'Antoni only played 7 people. I mean, I really don't see how it was competitive because we all knew that whoever go up against the Warriors is going to get shellacking. And that's exactly what happened. People just gotten a huge shellacking. I just can't see it. I don't know. But keeping on with the conference finals, as Chris is currently trying to get the doctor back on the line. Uh, I mean, am I happy that the Western Conference is over? I mean, maybe, kinda. On one hand, I'm happy about it because it's like putting Old Yeller down. But at the same time, I would at least hope to be 5 games instead of just 4 games. But the unfortunate injuries with the Spurs, who's been, a model franchise for well over 20 years, basically. It's just the last few years just can't catch a break. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's been a Iron Man on both ends of the floor. He's still, in my opinion, should be the MVP of the league this year. But I mean, people are suckers for the moment, and we all know that Westbrook's gonna win. And my second choice would have been James Harden. Like, other than the triple doubles, and I keep saying this time and time again, other than triple doubles, there's nothing that catches my eye about why Russell Westbrook should be the MVP. But that's a tangent that we can go on all day about, but I'm not gonna do that to you folks because we at Debates Among Friends, who tonight is sponsored by Stella Artois. Make sure you pick it up at your local grocery store and drink responsibly. But stepping away from the conference finals or lack thereof, because we're waiting for a while for the actual finals to start now, and just hoping that Cleveland finally just finish it. Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat finally agreed to part ways. Something that was a long time coming. First of all, massive kudos to Chris Bosh for recovering from the blood clot issues that he's been having. Despite what people may say about him during his time with the Heat, the whole memes and stuff like that. Like, we never want to see athletes, at any level, have to face issues like that, whether it's blood clots or massive injuries where they need to come back or something like that. So first of all, that's just the first of all. Uh, in regards to what the Heat did, I still felt like it was them trying to strong arm Chris Bosh into retiring. So, there won't be that much of a hit on the cap. But it looks like, according to this article from ESPN, uh, it looks like the agreement is expected to remove Chris Bosh from the cap and allow the Heat to move on with their team. So, definitely going to clear up a lot of cap room. Looks like expected to be between $14 million and $37 million. I mean, I'm glad it's finally over. I felt like it shouldn't have to take that long, but unfortunately it did. But just happy we finally had some kind of consensus on what they need to do so they can, just move on with their lives. As far as Chris Bosh is concerned, now that he wants to continue to play basketball, which by all means, I mean, get into training camp, definitely make a team. I feel like he can make any team that he chooses. The doctor definitely made a bold and good claim that I can't help but agree with because he talked about Chris Bosh. He is a Texan coming to the armpit of Texas, as they like to call out here, up here in the DFW area, out in Houston, and playing for the Rockets. I think that's a highly plausible idea. I think that's something that Houston can definitely swing around. But I don't know how they're going to manage the cap because I don't know how much he's looking for in regards to his next salary. I told them they should probably get him on the cheap versus having to pay premier prices. But then again, what is premier prices these days? Uh, we are still waiting for the doctor. Actually, he is completely MIA. This is actually quite hilarious. But going back to Chris Bosh, other destinations for him. Uh, Teams that can definitely sustain the cap space. I mean, I don't know what Milwaukee's cap space is looking like, but I mean, I could see him doing something with the Greek Freak. Definitely adding a lot of length. Still a pretty weak conference in the East, and with them, at least making it. Hey, that's a great veteran leadership who has championship caliber, even though the head coach has that as well too. But B, it definitely increases their offensive capabilities. I feel like the Bucks are much more of a defensive team. Um, they're not really going to blow people out. I feel like at least with the addition of Chris Bosh, they can maybe make some more noise. Maybe they can have a little bit more dynamic of an offense that just doesn't begin and end with, Giannis. Let's see. One more team from the East, and I'll move on to wrestling. One more team. What team? I'm not going to say the Knicks, because as much as I would like for him to be there, the Knicks are too much of a train wreck to try to make any kind of moves towards championship, consideration. So there is that. Boston, I don't know what they're gonna do with their roster and with them having the number one pick because there's just too many variables to consider. And I doubt, don't quote me on this, I doubt that Chris Bosh will actually decide to go back to play with LeBron. I don't think they need him. But then again, I mean, I said the same thing when they got in Cal Corver and Darren Williams and all these people who are former All Stars and got waived or traded for basically nothing. You know what? An interesting team I can see him playing for is the Wizards. That would be, especially if they lose Gortat. I think him going to the Wizards would be a great upgrade. in regards to just offensive capabilities and what he's able to do down low. But that's enough about that. Let's keep going, talking about the NXT Takeover Chicago. My initial thoughts: I always think that NXT always have solid matches. They definitely focus more on the wrestling side of it versus just the storytelling side of it. They let the wrestling be the storytelling. They don't waste 20 minutes of a time just trying to hype up a match and it turned into just subpar. I guess one of my biggest takeaways, uh, the Tommaso Ciampa heel turn was a long time coming, but it was done greatly because they got in a massive send off after their loss to the Authors of Pain, and I mean, wow, massive kudos to them. I know the Doctor definitely want to talk about his match of the night, which I also agree is definitely the match of the night, was for the UK Championship. I mean, I guess I'll do a quick sidebar. I believe it was either What Culture or Solid Monster. Shout outs to them. Follow them on Twitter and Facebook as well too. Was mentioning how the WWE is basically becoming, World Wrestling independent entertainment. Because, a lot of these people are either come from indies or from, overseas and stuff like that. There's really no one homegrown. And even if they did come over from, let's say the indies or whatnot, they don't really spend a lot of time in development, aka NXT. But at the same time, they really don't need to. They just really need to learn how to just wrestle WWE's way. Which isn't a terrible thing, but at the same time, it's not, the best thing ever. Chris, what's the status? The Doctor? Oh, they said that the Doctor is coming back in. We'll have him come back in. Give us 1 second, sir. People. But as we're waiting for the Doctor, be sure to check out our Twitter page at Debates Among Friends or at Debates Among Fur, where we, talk about sports, wrestling, talk about esports as well too. We'll definitely be doing something as Evolution 2017 gets closer. We're looking to either do a vlog or a blog just to highlight some of the things that we're talking about. So, make sure to check that out. Make sure you definitely subscribe to the YouTube page because there'll be a lot of content coming on there as we're heading towards there. Chris, what's the status on the Doctor?
I should be back.
Sounds like the Doctor is back, ladies and gentlemen. Doctor, we're now talking about the NXT Chicago.
I'm not gonna look.
Wanted to wait to get you back on because I know you definitely want to talk about this UK Championship and give your thoughts about it because you was very, very high on that. I said it was the match of the night. Easily, hands down.
Absolutely. I do hope that you can still hear me at least.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully we don't have another issue from last week. And it'd be a bunch of robbery.
It does seem like that's happening. um, not even sure what in the world just happened. At first, I actually thought you were trolling me by not saying anything. um, and then I looked and I had pulled up my time and it was stuck at 8:38 and 50 seconds. And I was like,
oh no.
is the doc frozen right now?
The doc definitely got frozen. Definitely wasn't on me. I'm just, the moderator of this show. It's definitely on
Frozen
Chris.
Doctor?
Oh goodness.
But
You put
wow.
your way and classify yourself as frozen. Frozen.
So just to recap here. So we got from the Cavs. I mean, because I feel like, I just missed a whole bunch just now. So I'm just trying to understand. So we did the Cavs. Did you talk about Derrick Rose?
We did not because I just kept on going after I talked about Chris Bosh and talked about three
You did
potential
talk about Chris
destinations that
Bosh.
I believe. So, I
What
mean,
were
if
your
you want to
three?
talk about the D Rose
Well,
speculation, we could do that as soon as we finish up the WWE.
what we just to make sure, just to recap, what were your three teams? I just wanted to
I
see.
said Houston
Yes. Okay,
because
that's
I
all I
said I
needed.
could definitely agree with that, but I got to see what they're going to do as far as their roster.
Yeah, I don't know how we would make the cap, but go ahead.
I said Milwaukee. I think adding him will definitely make their offense a lot more dynamic than what it currently is right now.
Yes,
Because I said everything begins and ends with Giannis.
of course.
And the last one I said is Washington, especially if they lose Gortat.
What about the Knicks?
I said that's just a dumpster fire. I no.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
keep it real, ladies and gentlemen, here on Debates Among Friends. I'm a Knicks fan. I bleed orange and blue just like I do with my Yankees. But when they suck, I'm very, very honest. I don't sit there and have wool over my eyes saying, "Oh, we're the best ever." I think we lost the doctor again. Chris, I think the doctor's going to yell at you after the show. I think Chris is currently now trolling the doctor. I think it was definitely after this prank that happened this past weekend. We was playing the division, and the doctor kind of killed him a couple of times. It wasn't my fault. I said, Chris, watch out for and it was just a thing. It was just terrible. Absolutely just terrible. So as we're waiting for the doctor to come back in, because I know he wants to give his opinion about the Chris Bosh issue. Guess if he is unable to get back in here, I will continue on with my review for NXT until he gets back. I kind of lost my place, gentlemen. All right. So, as I already mentioned, the betrayal of Ciampa, that was great. Match of the night was Peter Dunne facing Tyler Bates. I just thought it was just absolutely awesome. UK wrestling is definitely on the rise. I mean, if y'all haven't had a chance to, definitely on YouTube check out WCPW because they have a lot of local talent who's been through the grind and everything too. So check them out. They have some really incredible matches. One of the biggest things that I see that I really enjoy is wrestlers having interactions with the fans. Um, being able to sell a match. Being personable with them. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the UK match. The Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami match. I mean, I felt like it was good, but it just felt off. I mean, we know that Hideo wasn't gonna win it. At least me, I felt like that. His reaction afterwards kind of hinted towards a heel turn towards him, or if not that, a very engaging, maybe best of 5, best of 7 series with him and Cassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero, for those who don't know. Which I think they can have a marvelous match. Sounds like we got the doctor back.
Yes.
I told the folks that Chris is trolling you hard over what happened while we played the division this past weekend, and you kept killing him. So obviously he's having his comeuppance right now towards you.
I can't even begin to tell you. I have no idea what's going on. Like, I have, for some reason, I have two Skypes on my computer, and that's why you can't even see my video right now because it's saying that my video is showing something else. But whatever, sir.
Hilarious.
So where were we? I can't believe that happened twice. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna get it fixed by next Wednesday, 8:15, right here on YouTube.
And Twitch. Gotta
and Twitch, absolutely.
Because the Twitch fans, they need to feel like they're important too, because we are here for you, the people.
We are.
At Debates Among Friends.
Absolutely.
Professor John Gotti, Dr. Trevor Ocean.
So what did you cover so far?
Right now I'm talking about the championship match between Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami. I said it was okay, but it didn't really capture, like it wasn't like an instant classic like you would expect the NXT Championship match to be.
And I guess that's why it wasn't the main event, because they knew it wouldn't amount to that.
This is true.
It's what I would say stole the show. Of course, is that UK match.
Yep.
I thought that I'm a big Pete Dunne fan now. Like the Bruiserweight, I even wrote in my notes. I love his finisher. I love his attitude. Obviously, if he was a little bigger, he would have skipped the UK Championship and gone straight to the main roster in my book because he has a great attitude. I like his character, and I just feel like he's going to be a really, really good player. I
feel that way too. And I mentioned about how UK wrestling is like the biggest thing now that's happening, within the last like year and a half, almost 2 years. Also, gave a shout out to WCPW because one of the things that I enjoy while watching a match is not just the technical skills, but not just being able to sell a story, but also getting the fans to be behind the entire match, whether it's through fan interaction or either drawing heat, getting a good pop, like nothing cheap.
Right.
And I feel like that's what this match accomplished.
And it was good. I mean, again, Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami, I thought the whole play on the injuries, like, oh, my shoulder, I can't do this DDT, and oh, God, I hurt my leg, I can't do the go to sleep, like, it was cool, but to hit, just come back and just hit him with 2 DDTs, I mean, it was pretty glorious, I guess.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah, it was pretty glorious. I wasn't really oversold on the women's triple threat match.
Unfortunately, as much as I love an Asuka match, it was probably one of her weakest matches.
Yeah, it was pretty whack. I will say it was pretty whack, bro. Whack sauce.
And I don't think it was as much as the women themselves. I feel like it was just more of the sequence of events that happened during the matches.
Right.
Like, yeah, there were some pretty high spots, but there was a lot of low spots.
Even the end where she covered both of them was kind of weak.
Yeah, well, first of all, like, that's the kind of, finger poke of doom kind of scenario.
Right.
Let's just call it how it is. Like
she buried them, basically.
Exactly. Like a great man once said, just like the man with 3 H's, we have buried these young talents.
And that's terrible. And he's in charge of this, so I mean, obviously Bobby Roode is cut from Triple H's cloth. Mm-hmm. I hate the fact that he's 40 years old, though. Like, I hate it. And that's why I made the joke last week about Jay Lethal being too young.
Let's talk about that real quickly, because I know that was something that I mentioned to you, and you was like, oh, whatever. But you're starting to see that trend now.
But it's stupid, though, because
you get these amazing wrestlers coming to WWE, and then when you find out their age, you're like, why did it take them this long to get here?
That's stupid. I mean, you think about it though, like, I mean, but he's 40 years old, bro. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, he's 40. He's great. He's don't get me wrong. He's a great wrestler, but
Bobby Roode, Shinsuke, Kevin Owens,
well,
AJ Styles. I mean,
Kevin Owens is probably not 40 though.
but they're up there in age.
I mean, I hate the fact that
I mean, think about it like this. Imagine a Bobby Roode around 20s
mhm,
comes to WWE. Like, let's just say if he was 20 these today
right.
compared to him being 40.
So I mean, I don't know if they're like. It's almost like they're putting together a D League of Indies. You know, like
Yes. Well,
it's
not
almost like
as much as a
they're
D League
making.
of Indies. Remember how I mentioned how this is the Renaissance or the Indies Renaissance for
It
WWE?
is, it is.
That's exactly what this is.
But I
Like,
mean, we don't
the
want
people
that
that
though.
they brought through development stink or they're Roman Reigns.
Except for Tyler Breeze,
And I like Tyler Breeze, but you see what happens to Tyler Breeze.
it shouldn't happen to him. He should be. He really should be main eventing.
Or even a Baron Corbin. But,
Main event,
he freaking lost to Sami Zayn.
which I don't even know why that would happen.
But this is the era of Indies right now.
And again, I mean,
All the people that, are the guy or, not named John Cena, Randy Orton, or Brock Lesnar are 95% from the Indies.
and I'm okay with them letting those guys go and us moving on to a new style of wrestling. I want to see Big Cass. I want to see Baron Corbin. I want to see Tyler Breeze. I want to see Jinder Mahal.
Don't hinder the gender.
Don't hinder him, but I'm okay for right now seeing the unphenomenal one, Mr. Steen, aka Owens, Shinsuke, and I guess eventually Bobby Roode will be called up because I mean, why hold him back? But if NXT is just a way to get people accustomed to the WWE way, because I did hear that there's a such thing as a WWE way,
Yes.
then I guess I mean that's pretty much what it is.
But should it be?
No, because when you think about it, it's almost like when you're playing WWE 2K series,
I never
and they
played the
put.
WWE 2K series.
All right, so I'll explain it to you. You played NBA Live.
Yes.
What was your overall when you first started the game?
Where is the creating a character?
I mean, you were 99, like you just started out 99, or
No, I like to build myself up.
so what did you think you started at?
Like, I started at 50. I want to
You
become a
started at
bum before I become, good like.
sure. So you started at 50. Do you think that Bobby Roode is a 50?
I believe Bobby Roode is a 50.
And that's the problem with this strategy is that you're taking these guys who are 85 or 80 to 85s and you're putting them in an arena
Mm-hmm.
with 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And that's why it's kind of weird. So Bobby Roode, I mean, I didn't really watch him before he came to NXT because again, I'm not really an indie guy, but
Well, and
uh,
he was in like TNA, and he,
sure,
did his thing at TNA.
I'm sure he was glorious.
He was the it factor.
It probably was still glorious,
Oh gosh, I can't believe he just did that. Sorry,
but
folks.
hey, I'm back.
Oh
so
gosh.
so it's kind of weird when you're putting Shinsuke Nakamura, who was probably a 85, 90 overall player,
But once
and
again, they're
with
picking up people who has the most, hype and the most steam heading into it. The Hardy Boys
right, but he can't even do the
are
broken.
back.
He can't even do the broken theme, and that's what
Yeah,
made him. That's what made him a 95
literally that catapulted him to 95.
to 95.
I mean, even the whole, no, even the, version 2.0 Matt Hardy shtick too was
79.
like it was a good
79.
solid 80, 83.
79.
Oh my
Tops.
gosh.
He capped at 79 too. He was on the decline.
Oh,
The whole leader thing
well,
and
that wasn't the
Edge.
Matt 2.0. That was the Matt Never
That's what
Dies.
that's what caused it though, isn't it?
What?
The whole Matt Hardy Lita Edge didn't that really go into 2.0 or is that before
No,
2.0?
no, that was
I
that
mean
was that was after 2.0.
after 2.0.
That was
So
after
that
2.0.
so when he by the time he got to that point, he was already at 68.
Dang.
Jeff was gone. He looked so big, like he was like really wrestling big. Now he might have shed some of the weight and went to the other promotions, and then became broken.
Well, I mean, in 10A he was Fat Hardy for a while because he kind of let himself go, but that's here or there.
Matt Hardy, wow.
But
I mean,
that's
he
one of the
did
things
though.
that we're talking about. I am someone who looks at things with a analytic mind. I don't just
Sure.
look at it and we talked about this before the podcast about Goldberg hashtag Oldberg,
Goldberg, yeah.
which
We
happened at WrestleMania, which like I lost it. Like,
mm.
oh, get those hashtags out there, ladies and gentlemen.
I
but
mean,
but like
I don't.
for me, I want to see quality. Yes, nostalgia is great, but if we keep having these part timers, these guys who are stars from yesteryear kind of thing, like you can never move forward because you're constantly going back into the deck.
But isn't that the same with bringing the indie guys in because they? I mean, yes, Goldberg is 40. What he's what 45, 46. What was it?
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Roode's 40. I mean, these guys are there. They're right there. Only thing
And they
is,
are.
they
But
just
it's all
didn't get
about,
speared or jackhammered.
well, Goldberg's actually 50, but
50. That's what it was. I mean, but even still, I mean, these guys are getting up there.
And they are getting up there, but it goes back to my argument talking about, if they was to go to WWE around their main prime, which is around their 20s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even before the early 30s, like let's say before like 32, 33,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't have gotten the chances that they have now
True. That's
because it's
true.
all about the look. Because as King Ross liked to say, shout outs to him, Russell
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling on Twitter, this McMahon loves big sweaty men, and that's all he went towards.
It's terrible.
He had to have the look. You could be complete crap in the ring, but if you got the look, though, you get anything you want.
Oh God, God, don't say
The
that.
new genetic jackhammer.
Oh my God. Well, you know what stinks? Looking over some of the ages here. I'm just gonna go over a few of them.
Go for it. The
And
floor
it
is yours.
stinks.
I've talked, way too much, so.
Look, yeah, because you had to fill in for Frozen,
The
Frozen Doctor.
frozen one.
Yeah. So.
You don't thaw none. You don't thaw none.
Oh, that was a good one. John Gotti. Did you just write that one? Oh,
I
that was
literally,
good.
straight up the top, dog. Straight up the top.
Oh,
Okay, I
God.
apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I
Yeah.
did not talk like that.
Please. All right. So right now, and this is a list from last year, so this is not going to include the Undertaker and Triple H and even Brock Lesnar, but obviously Goldust is still on the roster,
Yep,
and he's well into his 40s. He's almost 50 years old.
he is. But
Chris
he's
Jericho,
been wrestling since he was like really young.
he has been. Obviously, Chris Jericho on and off the roster. He's late in his 40s. He's mid 40s.
Yep.
AJ Styles is 39, 40. I mean, John Cena's almost 40. The thing that sucks about this next person is that his career is basically over unless he does some kind of Diamond Dallas Page kind of thing, Titus O'Neil. Unless he does some serious developing in his character and comes up with something good, he's practically about done.
But he's not. He's not
Why not?
because they're not going to do anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying he's not going to go away. I thought you were you were trying to make an argument for why he was going to stay in the
Well, don't be
WWE.
surprised. I mean, maybe they're grooming him to become a new Booker or something.
Wow, Booker. But I'll keep going. Sheamus is 38.
Yep.
Sin Cara. I don't think Sin Cara's. I mean, are we talking about the real Sin Cara or the fake one? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to say, are you talking about the original Sin Cara or Hunico?
I'm gonna skip that one. Cesaro's 35. The Miz is 35.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler's 35.
Who, by the way, Dolph Ziggler is on par with like CM Punk as far as all the women that he's been with. Like, wow.
And of course, Luke Harper and Randy Orton are both 36.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about just this small list here, and this is an older list, of course. So of course they might have included some new people, taken away some people. Obviously, Alberto Del Rio's on this list, so Bubba Ray Dudley's on this list. So this is an old list. But just thinking about it, some of these guys are still here. Obviously, they've added more old people. I mean, are we going with 30 as the new 20? I mean, is 30 the new 20 in wrestling?
I don't know. I mean, even like back in the 80s, we could still kind of make that claim. I mean, what age was Hogan around that time?
I have no idea. I feel like Hogan was around for practically ever.
Well, that's Ric Flair, but that goes without saying.
But see, I didn't always know Ric Flair. I didn't always know Ric Flair. So Hulk Hogan was born in 1953. So by 1985, he was in his 30s.
Yep.
He was 30, 32, 33 years old.
Yeah, but where he wasn't, awesome as far as actual in-ring skills. Oh, that's so funny. John Cena's full name is John Felix Anthony Cena.
John Cena.
Dwayne Douglas Johnson. Oh my gosh.
Oh God, let's not do that.
Brock Edward Lesnar. I'm not gonna make fun of him because if he's hearing us, he'll kick my booty hole, my booty and I respect Brock Lesnar too much, and I'm frightened of him.
Right. Let's not go down that rabbit hole because I'm sure there's a lot of names on there that are going to cause some controversy. But just going back to NXT, I just feel like there wasn't that match that was just like outside of the UK Championship match. There weren't any other matches that were like, oh man, this was good.
Because
like this is worth me turning this on. Like previous NXTs were really good. The Takeover was really good. This one was just okay.
Just there.
And the Authors of Pain are just a new
Road Warriors
acolyte. Okay,
I can see the acolytes.
They come in and beat you up. They're not really going to wrestle with you. Come in and really just try to beat you up. So them going to the main roster is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
And they're going to get moved to Raw.
To go against who?
Doesn't matter.
So they're just going to dominate people, or
Basically.
are they going to?
Yep.
Interesting. So should we move on to what everybody's been waiting for? Backlash. And that's it. The show is indeed over.
I mean, was there anything of significance? Dusty finish for AJ versus Kevin Owens, which was literally the best match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton nearly killed the guy. Jinder Mahal is now your WWE champion.
Wow, my WWE champion. Or did you mean your as in?
As in the people.
The people. How was, and I didn't see this particular match. I didn't really see a lot of them, but how was the Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan match?
You really didn't miss anything.
Wow.
Like, literally looked like two big guys just fumbling around in the ring. And Luke Harper's a heck of a worker. Like, I feel bad with the fact that he has to go against Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan? First of all, looked bigger than he used to.
In a match that doesn't really like
Do anything.
it's like what was the point of this particular match? Like they haven't been in the Wyatt family together in months.
Yeah, almost a year.
Like it really didn't make any sense. When I saw that, it was like a battle for, between these two ex Wyatt family members. Like it's so stupid. Luke Harper should be literally in the championship picture.
Yeah, if not the WWE Championship, at least the U.S. Championship.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the finish between Kevin Owens and AJ. I mean, obviously they couldn't let Kevin Owens lose two pay-per-views back to back.
Yes, which I'm glad they did
So,
that because they did that with Sami Zayn, which is why he won.
which is stupid because they shouldn't have did that to Corbin.
It's just crazy booking. Like I don't understand
Yeah.
what's going on. Like once again, what is the end game? They want Baron Corbin to be the top heel of the company because there's not a top heel in the company, at least on that
Well, see,
brand.
that's what the problem is, though. When you think about it, you would have to get rid of AJ Styles. You would have to get rid of, unfortunately, Shinsuke Nakamura. You would have to get rid of a lot of these aging veterans to let the young guys go because there aren't enough titles to go around. And unless if you're gonna pay AJ Styles all that money to be a mid carder, just because he's a quote unquote phenomenal.
I don't know. That sounds like sarcasm. People might start typing stuff in the chat about that. You need to
Please.
explain yourself.
I mean, are there any? Think about it like this: we wanted to get rid of the part timers, but all we did was go out and get veterans. But we kept the part timers. We have a champion on Raw. I don't know when the last time I saw him.
Last time we saw him was the Raw after WrestleMania.
And I mean, that belt's just sitting in idle. It's like probably one of the most underworked belts of all time now. And you got the Intercontinental title, which
Is
it
basically
changed.
back in the SmackDown storyline.
It just changes hands so many times. The U.S. Championship changed hands a few times.
Well, the U.S. Championship lost its luster when Roman Reigns won it, and this isn't hate on him. It's the fact that he did nothing with the title.
It has to be somebody that's going. It has to serve as that TV title, unless they bring that TV title back.
But that's what the U.S. title is supposed to be. Like that's the funniest part. Like the TV title is basically the equivalent of the U.S. title in WWE. That's what's supposed to be.
In WCW, there was a TV title and a United States
U.S.
title.
title. Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's the way it should. They should bring out a TV title. This would give under mid carders, the third and fourth tier people, who
you
I
mean
think
the lower mid carders.
nope under mid like if there was 5 tiers, they would be 1.5 to 2.5.
Dang.
like bottom tier, like Tyler Breeze right now. Unfortunately, he should be in that group. That's why I said they should bring back like the light heavyweight title.
No,
that
the light heavyweight title was just a bad experiment gone wrong.
because that 205, like who's the 205 champion right now?
Devil.
But
he's been doing a good job with the title though.
I mean, I don't even
way better than when it began.
Again, I think. Let me just take a look at something here. How they could.
I mean, unfortunately, it's only just him and Austin Aries.
Exactly.
But the problem is, whenever they face each other on pay-per-view, they don't give them enough time, or they get them a stupid finish.
Just great. Tyler Breeze is 206 pounds. So terrible. Oh man. So I guess no Snickers bar for him for 2 days.
I see.
And then he'll be able to be a cruiserweight and actually go out there and be on 205, just like they should have put Xavier Woods over there too, because he's not doing anything.
You've been lobbying for that one for a while too.
Only because it makes sense, and we really want to see him actually wrestle. Think about him with his mic skills, and we know that he's a pretty solid wrestler.
Been saying that.
It's just he's stuck behind this gimmick, which at first was a crazy, terrible idea. Then it began to become kind of catchy. Then we got kind of enamored with it and was like, these guys are coming out there talking about bootios and stuff. And now,
Like as soon as they started talking about bootios, I was finished. Like I just it just became
yeah.
really awkward really fast. But then it turned into
Now,
something hilarious to talk about because of the
right,
whole, bootio page situation now.
right, right. Which I'm not touching with that selfie stick. Uh, but
Oh, you're not gonna touch it, but Xavier did. Buzzing.
buzzing, terrible. But yeah, I just think that it's one of those situations where they have to increase the amount of people that are in there with people who are that small. Not everybody has. Listen, they're not recreating WCW's cruiserweight division,
No,
ECW's cruiserweight division. Like they're not doing the lucha libre. We're not doing that. You and I feel like that's what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to compete with what lucha libre
Lucha
and
Underground.
I mean, you have to go back though. Lucha Libre, like that style, like they're trying to go back to WCW, ECW. Now you got Lucha Underground, which I've never watched, so I don't know if it's exciting and crazy like
There,
the old
if you
WCW
like
was.
comic book style of wrestling, like that's what
No,
Lucha Underground is like. They do a
okay,
great job of keeping things not real,
got it. Makes
but
sense.
still
Like,
keep you entertained and enthralled into the stories.
because I know that there was one match, and I don't know uh what company this was, but I remember there was one where this guy was fighting somebody who was invisible, and I was just like, what the heck is this? Like he was really like taking bumps and like and I was just like, oh man, like is this where wrestling has gone? But they need to increase 205. The UK has to branch out and you're saying they're gonna do something with India now.
Yeah, they're gonna do something with India, which is why Jinder Mahal got the title. I mean,
Well,
that's one of my biggest pet peeves about WWE. I hate, like, first of all, business wise, excellent move. Like, that's a great way to get into that market. To have this guy be the quote unquote face
mm,
heading into that market. Absolutely kudos to Vince McMahon and his, business planning and analysis groups for, coming up with that idea and executing it. Like, kudos to them. But on the logical side of it, not
it doesn't.
analytical side of it, it's stupid because he's a transitional champion. And we know he's a transitional champion. And, one of the things that I talked to a lot of people on Twitter on the night that he won it was, you know, is he someone that the WWE can see going to headline WrestleMania, compete for the title or defend the title at WrestleMania? The answer is going to
Hmm.
be no.
So let me read this to you here. I mean, because obviously that what you just said makes sense. Um, and this is on Forbes.com. A nice little article from Blake.
Shout out to Forbes. Follow Forbes on
Hmm.
Twitter.
India is the WWE's best social media. No, excuse me. India is in their best social media market.
There you go.
But aside from television revenue, which is significant, the third highest of all, there isn't a lot of revenue coming from India. They rarely run shows. They are trying to open an office and ramp up merchandise sales, but
Hmm.
it's at the beginning. But the key is WWE network viewership in India is tiny.
Yes.
Tiny, even though viewers of the content for free there is huge.
Well, I mean, that goes back to the whole, one person get a subscription and you just share it around.
With what? Without question. Now, the one thing that I did want to point out, and I think we did talk about this.
Not 99 a month for this crap. Ninja
Yeah,
Plus.
this is the one thing we did talk about. It says, I'm going to skip past a lot of these things. Actually, I'll just read this whole part. At the time when SmackDown's ratings are going to decline
Hmm.
consistently anyway because of the competition from the NBA playoffs, of course,
Yep.
and at a time when individual pay per view matches mean less than ever before, and that is because the network is $10 per month as opposed to $60 per one episode or one pay per view. WWE can afford to take risk on unproven commodities like Mahal rather than stick with the status quo
Hmm.
that is Orton as WWE. champion. And then it goes on to say, especially with Orton looking rather unmotivated during his 13th world title reign, and other stars like AJ Styles, the unphenomenal one, and Kevin Owens feuding over a mid card title.
Oh, there's a lot of facts there.
I mean, this is why it might be time. Hey, they had to let some big fish go, or who you thought was big fish go, to thrive before. Why not do it again? Remember. I mean, you know how.
But they
Come
did
on.
that in the '90s with the new generation. You know,
They did it twice.
they let the Hogans and stuff like that. They let them walk.
They did. I say, why not again?
You know, do it again.
Again.
Like people keep saying, well, you know, so and so is having a hard time connecting with the fans because they're reading off of a script and they're usually booked horribly. You can't build stars with those two concepts. You have to let them go.
What are we talking about?
Like, okay, I can't really think of wrestlers, but right now, top of my head, but like, think about it in the terms of like their promos.
Fire 'em.
Their promos are
Fire.
scripted. It sounds terrible, and you
You're
can tell
fired.
they're scripted because they're so monotone for the most part.
They gotta go.
Along with awkward laughs afterwards. I'm talking to you, Steph Rollins.
Oh,
But
no,
like, you know,
I mean, stuff.
get them key points to talk about, and then let them do it. Like most of these guys, like the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambroses and stuff like that, like they can really hold promos.
See, I don't know. See, and I think that's why it would be kind of weird to see somebody like a Jay Lethal over in WWE because he doesn't need scripts.
He doesn't, but the problem is they're gonna make him do that.
Yeah, he doesn't need
You know,
that.
I mean, think about it like this: Shinsuke Nakamura, you know, with the language barrier that he has, WWE are forcing him to actually talk.
Mm-hmm. In a time where, remember, Kane used to not talk.
And Kane used to not talk, and he was a certified BA. I can't curse, sir.
I, I understand. So, I mean, that's really the ultimate thing that they'll have to go ahead and do is really just let the part timers go, let the unmotivated go,
Yes.
and let the underachievers go.
Exactly.
And if they so happen to thrive, like look at King Barrett. Is he thriving anywhere?
Right now, not as much. Granted, the last I saw of him was he was doing commentary for WCPW.
And that's not good.
Yeah, but I think he's happy with his life right now. You know, with everything that WWE has put him through. So I mean, he's way happier than he was.
Yeah, and I think only person that really, that I can think of that was doing pretty well is Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is making a killing.
Yeah, because he's allowed to be himself. Now, if they brought him back right now and allowed him to be himself, then he would be somebody that could carry the franchise.
It just shows that WWE made a huge mistake.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Stardust for the first couple of weeks, first couple of months, great.
For the first month, absolutely great. After that, it just turned into Boodio. It turned to Boodio.
Think about it. Because you think about it, it was a kind of a nice play on the Joker. Cool, all right.
But it wasn't even Joker though.
I mean, was it? I mean, it was something. Somebody they had to get it from somewhere.
It was something, but it wasn't Joker.
Had to be Joker.
It wasn't Joker.
The laugh, it had to be.
No, it wasn't Joker, but it was another comic book villain I can't think of off the top of my head. But I might have to get with the sergeant and have him watch a couple of promos and get his take, because he'll probably know.
I mean, but ultimately, that was it. I mean, Jinder's a new champion, and that's all.
How long do you think his reign's gonna be?
I think they're gonna probably let him keep the title for a couple of months. Only reason I say that is because you would want, if they're doing this specifically to get India involved, then they're gonna have to let it ride for at least 6 months or so.
I think he's gonna hold it till SummerSlam, then he'll drop it.
August. So you're saying August?
Yep.
I think he might hold it for. I don't know. I think he's gonna hold it for quite some time.
If not till August, then definitely up to Survivor Series. But he's not gonna
Let
go into 2018 as the champion.
Let's see who wins Money in the Bank. Depending on who wins Money in the Bank, that'll I'll be like, all right. Because remember, they wasted last year's Money in the Bank, and it didn't really
I don't
make
even
any
remember
sense.
who was actually the Money in the Bank winner,
It was Sheamus, wasn't it?
and that's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah, because remember he came down, he hit Roman with the bro kick,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh gosh, that
confetti,
just
and
talked
then
about just how terrible they was doing though.
yeah, then he lost the next day on Raw. He lost the next day on Raw.
Deeper sigh.
Exactly. But I mean, hopefully Vince McMahon listens to the show and he takes our
He's not
advice.
gonna listen to the show.
Oh God, come on, man! So at least Triple H, somebody.
He's not gonna listen to the show because we keep
I would.
making fun of his wife and her
Oh my
massive
God.
lady balls,
Oh my God! I can't believe you just said that.
and talking
Um.
about sticking things up Vince McMahon's Capriali.
Oh my goodness. But let's get to the final thought, sir. What you got? Anything special for the people?
Absolutely. So I am a basketball enthusiast. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the psychology, the physiology of it. Everything about it. I'm an analyst. I'm a student of the game. That being said, I also like to play basketball. Out in the park and whatnot. Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I learned is if you're gonna talk smack, make sure that you have the skills to back it up. That being said, one of the YouTube channels that I like to watch is of a N1 professional basketball player, the Professor. I don't know if you remember the Professor. I mean,
Think so.
not Professor
Yeah.
John Gotti, but the Professor.
Might as well be.
So that being said, there was a video that came out today where there was a heckler, talking smack as he's playing a 3-on-3 game, saying, "Oh, I could defend him, watch his hips, blah blah blah," just being a pissant,
Mm-hmm.
and just still talking smack, and he's saying, "Oh, I can, lock you down, blah blah blah." Mind you, for preface, Professor has probably one of the best handles in the world.
Sure. Not. I mean, no hot sauce, but I get what you're saying.
Oh gosh, I can't believe you just went there.
I'm serious. He's definitely no hot sauce. I mean,
But
hot sizzle. Hot
it got to a
sizzle.
point to where they played a one-on-one game up to 7, and if the heckler won, the professor would give him $100.
No.
Professor don't get anything if he wins.
Sure.
The game didn't go up to 7 because as this person was, trying his best, air quotes, to accomplish his task of proving himself right and the professor wrong, the professor caught him with a move. And I'm going to also preface this one with for those that don't know, breaking ankles is when someone gets shook up to the point to where either they fall or they might actually physically hurt their ankle. This is the first I've ever seen of someone getting their shoulder dislocated.
Mm.
They had to stop the game because the gentleman dislocated his shoulder, apparently. So the game was canceled. So that being said, great advice for our young, basketball enthusiasts and even our seasoned vets as well too, like Q Mark, because he knows this. Don't write checks your booty can't cash. Just don't do it. I understand my limitations and I stay in my lane.
Mm.
Just don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my final thoughts from the Professor John Gotti. Doctor, take it away.
Well, being that we didn't really get a chance to talk about a rose leaving the garden, I will offer that as one final thought. Obviously, I got a chance to troll a little bit earlier, which is great. I'm just trying to be the sweet troll prince of debate amongst friends.
Oh, God.
Um, I couldn't imagine Derrick Rose, of course, going to the Spurs. I could see him going to Milwaukee, but I know that broke Kuma's heart to see that post. Thinking with dreams of CP3, and you guys get Derrick Rose for $16 million. Oh God, that's so terrible. But my real final thought of today really was about the Mike and Mike article that I shared with you, sir. And if people haven't seen it yet, definitely Google it. And I'm hoping that there is some falsehood to it. Um, like I'd rather be so wrong about this, than right. Like, although, I want to be telling truthful statements here. We want to be given the facts. This is one of those things where you wish they were just lying. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN, like when they're on air, like they have such good chemistry. They've
Hmm.
been doing this for quite some time,
Well over a
and
decade.
to hear that now when the radio goes, like when they're not on air, they don't even talk to each other.
Nope.
That's crazy.
I mean, I know that's one of the things that we feared with us starting this podcast is, whether or not it's going to become vexing towards us or, we start having differentiating opinions and, begin bickering, small bickering that turns to bigger. So, stories like these really hit home for us and, have myself, Professor John Gotti, appreciate what the doctor brings to the table and everything that he means to the show itself.
And vice versa. And usually we just melee each other in the game and then call it a day. Like that's really it. Like, we melee each other a few times, and then we move on about our business. But I just can't believe that after 10 years. Although one of them was going to get laid off, I believe that, get fired. I think uh, Greeny
Yes.
is getting his own show. Well, really, they're both going to have their own show, but I think it's Greeny that's getting let go from ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. Because, like I said, one of them isn't there usually anyway.
Correct.
So it's kind of like, who cares? Like it's always one of them and then a guest host. So, you kind of just sit there and be like, all right.
All right,
Uh,
all right, all right.
but I do believe it's Greenberg that's getting his own show. And that's cool. I mean, it's been a long run, and I'm sure Mike and will be fine. Oh, you know what? Maybe they'll go get Michael Strahan. He always feels in pretty good. Mike and Mike, it'd be perfect.
Oh my god, I see what you did there.
Maybe they'll do that. But I know you got a great track for us this evening, sir. Hit them with it.
Yes, tonight's track is another one of my favorite artists. It's Streetlight, one of his newest singles that just came out last week called Doom. Um, Definitely be sure to check out his various websites. Follow him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter at Streetlight, all one word. Follow his Instagram and also his own website, which is empire.red. Like I said, the track is great. The second track definitely just hits home for me. It speaks a lot of truth. So, we'll hit you up with that as the outro track of today. But we want to thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Be sure to catch us every single Wednesday on YouTube and on Twitch. We will start our vlogging or blogging towards our road to Evolution 2017. Just talking about some of the things that we're doing to prepare for it. Even towards the actual trip, because the doctor will be flying out here to Texas and will be taking a jetliner out to beautiful Viva Las Vegas. In addition to that, once again, just be sure to catch our Twitter at Debates Among Friends. We're gonna start doing more Twitch streaming of the games at twitch.tv/debates among friends, and also join our Facebook. Be sure to like the YouTube page, subscribe, like the videos, whether it's the Debates Among Friends podcast or the Gotti reviews, where I review certain products and services and provide my opinion for you, the people. And you can follow myself on Twitter at Kin86 or the Doctor at TL Double. But once again, our track tonight is Streetlight, Doom, and we'll catch you again next time. Peace and love.
Deuces.
I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I hit a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now and you know that. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now, everybody doomed. Yeah, I am back, now settle yourself. Just know that my album sound like when you dead to yourself. Scared for your health, your friends too scary to help. It's very apparent that I shouldn't be sharing the wealth. Yeah, I'm alone a lot, but I'm not lonely. The problem is that it's impossible when I'm not phony. The only time I feel neglected is when I'm stepping into a crowded room with a lot of dudes who do not know me. I get up in the morning, muffins imported, nothing is sorted, nothing is snorted, but this white power feel like white powder that the government ordered, and everybody cracked out, meaning the Pentagon is the crack house. Yeah, a bunch of black girls going missing, nobody willing to listen, that's a media blackout. I mean, I wanted you to let your heart guide you, but now I'm far behind you and it's too late to back out. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now and you know that. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now, everybody doomed. You know, I don't like feeling like the truth is missing. Nah, I don't like feeling like you were lifted. No, I don't like killing like Judas. It's not in my genes to do this. It seemed like the true religion. Yeah, I just might get in my feelings like kill 'em Mike, kill 'em Mike, kill 'em all, new edition. And ain't nobody killing like Venom, no filler like Miller Lite. I'm not the kid you were dissing. Nah, where is your appeal? In my opinion, you appealing your appearance. Everybody see the fruit is missing. Nah, we just living different lives. You a living different lie. I done hit a limit, I refuse to listen. And y'all wearing matching hats and jackets, and only one of you benefit from the packet. This'll probably end in a minute, it's feeling tragic. Hey, they made me wanna peel they caps back like aspirin. I know somebody biting my flow from back then, even wearing my hats, and you borrow my accent. I was cool till we looked at the way that you snatched it. You denied, saying that we overreacting. I wasn't mad at you, you just had an attitude. People get confused about where we are at latitude. Don't wanna spaz, I'ma keep it polite. I'm wrapping circles around you for the rest of your life. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now and you know that. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. you better run it high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now, everybody. I am back on topic, I am back on topic. I got eyes there everywhere, I am watching, I am here, there, everywhere. I am not independent, been opening doors for me like a lockpick. They be calling me gifted, but it's no stocking. How you running a business when there's no stocking? Talking all of that jazz when you drop. Need no assist when I get a Malone player, that's no stocking. You're calling this Pippin, I know I'm no rhyming. So I'm Jordan in 94 if he chose boxing. Remember when I was mentioning stocks and now I box? Because a box is the only thing that you stocking. And that's the difference between having the gift rapping and gift rapping. A different deal that we shopping. Who the hottest? It's like a game of tag, and you must be pretty fast. Everybody know you nodding. I was looking at the world through a mirror, making everything clearer when I realized everybody doomed. I know 45 launching missiles, I'm just praying they don't hit you. Better running high when you hit a boom. Shooting at the top from the bottom had me turn into a problem. When I get a drop, everybody move. I know they can feel the truth coming, but it ain't no use running, cause I'm out now, everybody doomed.